All these rumors are fun to talk about. And Red Bull hasn't blown up yet.
Alex Albon's birthday, and his gift, Logan Sargent's car.
With the drain covers, why is this such a big issue?
That's what I'm saying. Alonso more and more is looking like Aaron Rodgers.
He's geriatric. We just kind of want him for merit mark.
You cannot win a constructor's battle when your second driver is not performing.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Things are getting crazy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina, and I'm here with Sydney, Jason, and Christina. And guys, it's going to Abu Dhabi, and I'm so excited.
This
All I
is
need is
most
third.
electric
All I
since
need is third.
2010.
I haven't been ready
More-
for this.
Anyone can win. All I need is third.
More than 21 to you, Jason. You said most electric since 2010.
Well,
More
yeah,
than 21.
I would say because there's 3 drivers that could win it. Like 21 was great because they're tied. It was like, oh, it's simple. Whoever finishes ahead, it'll be like so cool.
Yeah.
This
But
is
now
complex.
we have
It's
this
not
like
as complex.
yeah,
You just need
it
third,
is
guys.
complex because you have McLaren who have their drivers in first and third, and then you have Red Bull who has their driver in second, which means that they also can use Tsunoda as like a rogue gunner. Like but the McLaren
Kamikaze.
doesn't have the rogue
It's
gunner.
Kamikaze Tsunoda.
Yeah, so
Well,
like in
I would
21
argue
when
they do.
Perez would held up Hamilton, when Perez held up Hamilton in 21, they could have done the same thing with Bottas in 21. Like
Yeah.
Bottas was that rear gunner. McLaren have no rear gunner, not
But
because he's
does-
slow, but because both of them are in the championship fight.
Are they-
Sonoda's honestly probably not fast enough to be the
I was like,
rear
are they
gunner.
going to get Yuki up there, though?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is why
he
I
did
love
great.
this
Hey,
He's
he was
because
ahead
there's
of
3
Max
drivers.
the
Doing
first
good.
time.
It's
Oh my
the
God,
car.
everybody's talking at the same time.
It's the car.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I was going to say, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I will say, I think McLaren does have that rear gunner. I think Oscar is that. Right now, he has to be. If Max is winning the race,
Okay,
And
did you and me
Oscar-
see the same situation
I've
earlier?
done the
Probably.
calculations. Would you
We saw
like to
the
hear?
if Max is leading the race and Oscar is, say, in
Third,
third,
and
Lando's like
fourth.
fifth,
Or like, I saw Lando
fourth or fifth,
fifth.
they're going to invert the cars. They're going to have Lando drop off. Like, realistically, he's not going to win the championship.
There's only
Right?
2 ways.
So come end of
Max
the
But
race,
would
Oscar can
would
win.
Oscar
Max
want to
and
give
Oscar
it
can
up?
win.
Will they give that order?
When
and
does
will
Oscar give it
give
up?
that up?
Okay. Do you want to hear? So,
Last lap, 2
in
laps to the
order
end.
for Oscar to
Last
win,
lap.
Why? Why would he do it though?
Yeah, there could be a weird safety car. Like there could be another
I-
Latifi moment.
Why would
but
he
except
want
instead of
to do
Latifi,
that?
it's Hamilton crashing
I
because
mean,
he'll be
there's
B18.
only one real situation where Oscar can win the championship. He has to win the race. Max has to come in second, and Lando has to come in, I think, 8th.
That's very realistic. Lando
But
almost
that's
came
the
8th this
only
weekend.
option right now.
For me,
that
though,
he can win.
it's more realistic to think that Lando would be crashed out or DNF than come 8th. That
No, I
car
agree.
has so much pace. To come 6th, fine. 5th, 6th, in that range, I
Probably
think that's
7th.
doable. That's doable. Obviously, it's going to take a lot. That McLaren is quick, and they were quick in Abu Dhabi last year. Verstappen and the Red Bulls, historically, that's not their best track. But I do think that they made a good move, and we'll talk about it later when we get into the race. But I think they made a good move that set them up for Abu Dhabi, and we'll see.
I mean, for Max,
what that
he has
leads
to
to,
win the
but-
race, and Lando just has to come in 4th.
Yeah.
And then I feel
He-
like there was another one where he can win in 2nd, but I don't
I
remember.
sent you guys that thing the other day that made my brain hurt when I was looking at it. We could get into that. That could take a whole episode. We're
Okay.
not going to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's get into the headlines. First and foremost, Adrian Newey was appointed the new team principal of Aston Martin in place of Andy Cowell. He was previous team principal. He will now be leading like strategy. To my knowledge and what I like watched from Adrian Newey talking about his stuff, he's just by strategy. It's more so like partners. And they're kind of he's taking on the role of trying to figure out the partnership between Aramco, Aston Martin, and Honda, and make sure everybody is happy and everybody is working together. That's what I understood from his new role. But
Adrian Newey had an interview with F1 that they put on before the race, and he was like, Andrew Cowell volunteered to step down to manage that. So it's not necessarily that he got like kicked out of his spot.
Absolutely.
He volunteered to not be team principal anymore.
Did I not say, though, last time we talked about this, it should be, like, Newey, somebody else, and then, like just bring Newey to fix it?
Well,
And then this came out, like, a day later.
Yeah, well, for me, the only question mark is how much time can you dedicate to engineering the Aston Martin to actually go quicker if you're also in a managerial role?
I mean, he's
I
been
got
doing
worried
that
when I
all
saw
this
that.
year. So I
Yeah.
think the kind of point is he's built up all because this year he
Well, he
wasn't
started 4
working on
months
the
late.
He's
car,
already
really.
dedicating the work to
He
put on
started
the
4
car.
months late, though.
Like, he is not the lead designer of the car. I mean, he wasn't even at Red Bull for like the past like 5 or 6 years. He hasn't been literally drawing up the car. He's been more of a consultant, kind of like he would go to a design team and say, hey, you need to focus on doing this. Or like the engineers would come to him and be like, hey, we think this might work. What do you think?
They've
Right?
already
He
had
hasn't
the
been more of
basis
like a
of the
hands-on
car.
designer in quite a
That
while.
reminds me
Yeah.
of just for some reason the F1 movie where Brad Pitt comes up and is like, "Can we build the car
For
like
combat.
this?" So
Be the
Adrian
car for
Newey-
the course.
And she's like, screw you. I just rewatched that the other day,
Yeah,
so that's like
probably what's gonna
fresh in my
happen
brain.
is there's gonna be people building the car. Adrian Newey's gonna see something and he's gonna be like, "Hey, look into this," and they'll follow his lead and look
Adrian
into that.
Newey's
So
gonna
he's
be
not
like,
actually
hey,
be
have we
doing
thought about
everything.
turning right and left? Like, he's
Can we talk about
To turn
flying,
right,
but
you must
staying on
go
the
left.
ground?
To turn right, you must go left.
You're gonna see Adrian Newey like watching cars, like this has some good stuff. Great point, great point.
Maybe he'll watch Cars
Have
2.
we talked about just bringing in Lightning McQueen?
Mr.
actually?
McQueen has
Mr.
an
McQueen.
amazing point here. Like,
Liam
oh my
Lawson
God.
in the corner. Just
Like,
For
yeah.
me, my favorite Adrian Newey though is the pre-race when he's staring at everybody's cars so intensely. It's like he's trying to figure out the mechanics and like the bit by bit of it.
Did anybody see Inspector George this weekend?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
like when Vettel would look at
The
cars.
F1
Oh, yeah.
Flashback.
Oh, he would
The
always be the
flashback.
inspector.
The F1
Right away.
commentators was like, "Oh, Inspector George is at it again."
So funny.
Taken after. the
Speaking
best.
of Vettel, did you guys see his episode of Beyond the Grid?
Yes. It was
And
great.
he was talking about I mean, it was the part that stuck in my brain, obviously, as a Max fan. It was like him talking about Max and talking about realistically the scariest part about Max is he's still getting better. Every time
he keeps his
he's still
cool.
trying to achieve better and better, not just stagnant. Like he hasn't reached that plateau yet, like others have. And on top of that, like Sydney just said, he's starting to keep his cool. Like before he was very aggressive. In those big moments, he got very heated. Now you can see him thinking through it and being less emotional and more calm about everything. And that's scary.
I still
for
remember
the
Crash
McLaren specifically,
Stappen
but also
was a
in the future
legit
years.
nickname,
Oh, that was
and
Yeah,
now it's just
absolutely.
gone.
Mad
Tragedy.
Max. I still
Mad
love
Max.
the Mad Max moments.
Mad
I'm not gonna lie.
Max.
I still love
Crash
like
Stappen.
last year, especially when he would fight Lando. What was it? Hungary, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the big one. I will say I love when that came out because then he walked off. He was just like,
When was the last crash that was Max's fault? Like outright, like Max's
outright
fault.
his fault? I don't
Like-
know.
Like,
I
would
don't
you
keep up with
say
those, so.
Monza 21?
That was the first thing that came to mind. Monza 21 was the last one that for me you could argue was fully his fault. Like
Mexico 21? Did that happen?
that wasn't a crash though, was it?
No, Perez crashed there? Who crashed there?
Perez crashed
person.
Mexico, but was it 21?
But I don't think it was
It was
Max's fault.
no, Mexico 24.
I like
I'm
yeah,
really
that
sorry,
just
China.
that's just
Don't-
proves the point. Is it hard to remember a recent crash that has been 100% Max's fault? I mean, we might be missing
No.
something throughout the season, but
Absolutely, but also we can think of many moments where maybe Max, quote unquote, either according to stewards or according to the fans, crossed the line, right?
yes.
But how many times does the crossing of the line truly end in a crash? Like
right.
they go
Like
both
Imola
wide and he
21.
gets a penalty. Like
Yeah, like
it's very rare nowadays to see that kind of trash, and I think that's part of the reason he's still in this fight because he's so consistent. Regardless of the car's performance, he was still in the top 5 pretty much consistently the entire season, regardless of how good or bad the car was that weekend, regardless of how they performed on Friday. Like for me, the most impressive thing about Red Bull is their ability to bring a shitbox, pardon my French, to the track on Friday and then take pole on a Saturday or win the race on a Sunday. Like it's the
the
turnaround's
in-weekend
ridiculous.
development has been impressive.
Absolutely. But speaking of Red Bull, I do want to talk about the second seat. There's been some sources confirming Isaac for that second seat.
He even
also,
flat out kind of said it.
Yeah,
So the thing
basically.
Christina's
I'll
been
have a
saying
second
for
seat.
months.
And Brundle
Yes.
Brundle kind of said
He
it
even
too.
said, he's
Yeah.
like, I will have a second. He's like, I will have a seat for next year. Again, nobody knows what team that will
Yeah,
be
'cause
on.
Yuki
Yuki
this weekend
also
said, "I know what's
said-
happening next year."
Exactly.
I know
Yuki
my
also
fate.
said that
Yeah, he
as
was like,
well.
"No, I know my fate for next year already."
But does that mean that's at Red Bull or a different team? We don't know.
For me, if he knows his fate, it means he won't be at Red
I
Bull.
mean, not in those exact words,
Exactly.
but that's
It-
how I'm.
yeah,
He
but
did-
I
he
think
did
if he
kinda say that,
knows,
though.
if he knows, I don't see it being Red Bull. It's either Racing Bulls or he's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I don't think Red Bull is an option for him.
I think my thing I said months ago is coming true because Arvid Lindblad currently does not have a seat in F2 for next year. He's currently racing for Campos Racing, and they've already picked their lineup. They picked it in like October, apparently. I just never paid fully attention. I saw my driver get picked, and I went, yay! And kind of was like, okay. So they have Nicholas Solov, who just did his F2 debut this weekend, and he almost joined, I think Gabriel Mini in getting a podium in his first F2 race. But tragedy.
He's
ended up
also a Red
sixth.
Bull Junior.
Yes, he's also a Red Bull Junior. And then they signed Noah Leon as the second Campos driver, and he's not sponsored by any team.
Interesting.
No, he's a Mexican driver.
Oh, so he has a Mexican backing. That's
yeah,
why.
and then
Yeah.
because Nicholas Solov became the first Bulgarian driver to race in F2 this weekend.
That's awesome.
So, yeah,
Yeah, but it does mean Arvid's for sure out of a seat.
Yeah.
And
at least
therefore,
a Campos. Only
and therefore the thought is his F1 seat is guaranteed. If Campos went through, because ultimately
that-
with Red Bull's backing, it's very, very difficult for them to push him out. And he's a good driver. He's a very good driver. So I don't see Campos signing a second driver for that seat if Arvid's not confirmed.
I mean,
Not
there are
only
only
that,
9
he has a huge
teams
presence
who have
everywhere.
one driver confirmed.
right,
And
but
4 teams with 2 drivers confirmed. So there are still seats open if he doesn't.
well,
end up
yeah,
going.
if he doesn't end up going. But my point being that I don't think he would leave Campos for even. I mean, F2 is a little bit more. They mix around a lot, but I don't see why they would. Arvid's a good driver. I don't see why Campos would want to sign someone else. 2 unexperienced people, sort of, and then get rid of Arvid when they know Arvid will probably go to F1 would be the only reason, in my opinion, where they would just decide to skip
yeah,
it.
I mean,
so.
both the drivers will be technically making their full F2 season next year, even though Solov will have 2 weekends this year, and then Noah Leon won't.
Yeah.
But
I think Solov is also just a driver that already has that kind of presence, and he's already starting to make that way. Whereas, like, with the drivers that we see, especially now on the F1 grid, like, you need that presence to kind of solidify yourself. And if he wants that seat in F2 and eventually in F1, you need to have that. Aside from having a seat, having that backing, you need that presence in the space.
yeah, and I mean,
And he
he's
has that
only
already.
got 6 points from one weekend, but that puts him in 18th out of 27 in the F2 championship.
Crazy.
And
That's
he did
more
one
than-
weekend.
that's more
He was
than 10 of them.
supposed to be on the podium. He was in line for P3 during the F2 sprint race. Then after a safety car, they restarted, and he accidentally went to like the runoff and stuff, and ended up like P6.
Yeah, but
The
still, that's
feature,
really impressive.
He was P6, then got a penalty, and ended up P7.
I mean, not to flash forward, but look at F1. Kimi made a huge mistake last lap. It happens. They're rookies. They're brand new.
Yeah.
So to think that he was on for a podium and a small mishap on a restart that was,
yeah, and
you
it
know,
wasn't
it's
even
like,
from like pitting or anything.
Yeah.
He got to the podium position by doing. Well, he did start backwards because it was a reverse grid, but like he's done some like overtakes and things. Because like
Yeah.
he was battling like Alex Dunn and things like that during certain parts of the weekend.
yeah. There was also other F2 news.
Yes. I'm gonna say his name wrong.
Leonardo Fornaroli.
Leonardo Fornaroli got F2 champion.
Yes.
He has now joined Gabby and Oscar in getting F3 and F2 back to back.
Crazy.
So
Crazy.
people, they were literally like, "Well, I hope to see him in F1 one day."
Did
Well, if you
Kimi
do
was
that,
there
did Felipe Drukovic not win back to back?
I think he got like second or third.
No,
don't
he
know.
won F2, but I'm curious. I
I'm
don't know if
saying
he
an
won F3.
Was F3 around then?
Because
like,
I-
technically
no, I
Charles
think-
Leclerc should be on
I
that list,
think
but because
it-
it wasn't F3.
No, I think he did. Because I remember us talking about the fact that it was Brazilians back to back winning F3 and F2 back to back years. I think he did. I could be wrong, but I feel like he did. But there's like you said, with GB3, GB2, like and everything that it was before.
2023 was Theo Porsche.
For F2?
Yeah.
No. He won. Felipe Drugovich won.
I know where he is. He's in endurance racing.
Felipe Drugovich won F2.
F3?
He's also been quiet.
He won F2.
Well, what year?
Felipe? Did he not win 24?
24 was Gabby.
No, I was gonna say that was Felipe's, but not Felipe.
22?
Poche's been like 22, I think.
22 was Felipe.
22 is Felipe. So check 21 F3 champion.
I'm working on it. It doesn't say it in his bio. Usually it says it in their bio
So
when
maybe
it
he
says
didn't.
who won.
I can't find anything about Drukovich in F3.
So maybe he did. Maybe I'm tripping.
No, it was Dennis Hauger.
I mean,
okay.
all I could say
tripping.
about this
He
is
was a Red
that
Bull driver? Crazy.
All
This-
I see is Drukovich was in F2 with Sargent.
this isn't good that I haven't heard this name before, especially because he's not associated with any team.
Yeah.
Who?
Fornaroli?
Fornaroli?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he's
it's like a
not.
quiet name to me.
He's an Invictus driver and like an Invictus driver only.
Yeah, but like not
in-
associated with any Formula
No, he doesn't have
big
any
names.
backing by a F1 team or
Yeah.
anything.
That's a quiet name. That
It is a
means
quiet name. And I think it's also
It's a scary thing.
we're coming off a season with so many rookies.
Mm-hmm.
We're going into another season where
Everybody's getting
unless
re-signed.
not a lot of
unless
seats.
it's Arvid, there's no rookie spots.
Yeah. Although,
Everybody's getting re-signed.
Which is what's so hard. Like you mentioned, Theo Porsche, there's Drugovich. So many people that have been passed over time and time and time again. There's no space. I mean, even with 22 teams, and this is what pissed me off when Cadillac announced their lineup, and I was like, "Are you joking?"
It
like
keeps coming back to
they
the
just
same
keep
people.
coming back to these old guys, and I get it. I do.
I mean, they've got Colton Herta. He will be racing in F2. That's confirmed.
Yes,
That'll
Their
be fun
reserve.
to
but that'll
watch.
be at
Lovely.
least a year out, if not two.
Yeah. But no,
So
I'm going to bring it a little happy. Gabby and Kimmy went to congratulate him for winning.
oh, that's cute.
Because Gabby was in Invictus last year, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, because Invictus won back-to-back
Yeah.
as well. So Gabby went to congratulate him because that was his old team. And Kimmy went to congratulate his fellow countryman because Leonardo
Yeah,
Pirelli is
Is
Italian.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, he doesn't have any backing. Ferrari might be interested in him maybe for like testing or something maybe because he does have the Italianness of
Yeah.
Ferrari. So that's the only thing I can think of right now.
yeah.
Is it wrong to ask an Italian their favorite pasta?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't
It's
think
not
so.
penne. Penne is the wrong answer. People only like penne because
It'd
they
be
like
some
vodka
weird,
sauce.
Cavatappi.
obscure thing that we can't pronounce.
Cavatappi. I love cavatappi.
Exactly. Yeah. So
That's not weird. It's in the South dining halls.
Is it really?
yeah, it's like that
Crazy.
shell kind of thing, right?
No, it's not. It's
No.
macaroni. It's like the
Oh.
macaroni swirls.
Yeah, it's the multi.
Oh, I
it's
know
the
what
one
you mean,
everybody's
with,
been
like, the
fawning over for
ridges,
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What?
Anyways.
I don't know.
Fawning over.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
Are you
Speaking
secret
of
closet
Kimmy Antonelli-
Italian?
What?
Speaking
Closet
of Kimmy
Italian.
Antonelli,
Well, I was gonna talk about that later though.
but it's in the headlines.
We could talk about it.
Yeah, we're
headlines.
talking about
He's
the.
getting
We already
crapped
mentioned
on
Italians,
Yeah,
why
we already
not?
mentioned. I talked about his mistake, and we'll get into it when we talk about the race.
What's
but
his favorite pasta?
I don't
Have
know.
you said that? I feel like someone asked before.
Speaking of
Probably.
Italians.
Speaking of Italians, though, no, yeah, but he's got a lot of hate. Red Bull put out a statement on this. They apologized for what GP said.
We should cover. Yeah.
What I
well,
think is
what
funny.
happened.
What I think
Oh,
is
Let him know what happened, Marina.
He does. He has 3 favorite pastas.
But I already mentioned the rookie.
No,
we
no.
talked about when we talked about rookies.
No,
But-
what happened in the race of why this is coming up?
So,
Oh my God.
Lando, a lot of pressure on Kimmy. Last lap, Kimmy made a mistake. Kind of
into
went
the
off
runoff.
went off into the runoff and let Lando through, which makes it more difficult for Max to win in Abu Dhabi this weekend. And almost immediately on the radio, because it was last lap, GP insinuated that Kimmy had let him through on purpose. It is not the case. If you look at the onboard, it's pretty clear. But they did insinuate that, and fan bases, which
Went
I'm a Max fan, I would
nuts.
never say the things that people have been saying online. But
It's the Lando haters.
they were much
death threats to that extent.
a lot of hate, a lot of death threats and stuff. Red Bull put out a statement. saying that they apologize, that obviously it's clear that he didn't do it on purpose. But Kimi changed his profile picture again. So it's just sad, especially to think kid is 19 years old receiving death threats. To me, it's the same level as, or it's a similar situation as like 21 when Max was getting a lot of hate towards some of the incidents he had with Lewis and stuff and Mad Max and whatever. And he had to go into a press conference and address, stop sending death threats to my girlfriend and my family. That's ridiculous. Like, we are fans. You may not like what happened or like a certain driver, but like death threats is way too far.
To kind of what's Dancing with Stars fam. This also happened on Dancing with
God,
Stars
yes.
recently.
That's
one of the
crazy.
dancers was getting borderline death threats and abuse because she was getting voted off because of that. But fans and spectators are going way too far.
I agree.
On things that they don't like or things that they don't agree with. And it's getting absolutely insane to the point where, yes, these athletes, these competitors are getting death threats. And it's absolutely insane that these teams and these people have to come out and say this. And I think it's absolutely insane that like these people sign up to play their sport, to do their activity, to do what they do for fun, for competitiveness, whatever it is. They did not sign up to be ridiculed online for death threats. They signed up to be ridiculed for this. Okay, you want to say you suck? Cool. Sure, they signed up for that. That's your opinion on them. If you didn't like their performance, they did not sign up for that. You want to say, Kimmy, you shouldn't have gone to the runoff? Yeah, sure, he's a rookie. He needs to learn. Okay, whatever. You cannot ridicule him for saying, like, you cannot do
What?
that.
I thought I signed up for bullying teenagers online.
I mean, the
Yes,
issue is
no.
that it had to take this happening to Kimmy for this to happen, because this has been happening all year long
Exactly.
Yeah.
with
To
Lando,
everybody.
mainly. That's
Exactly.
like
Yeah, with
every
a lot
time
of
I see
people.
it's like
It's
no.
been happening to
There was-
I
everyone.
remember when Lance Stroll
when
had to
Lando
delete his
specifically-
Instagram.
Yeah, well, when
Lance
Oscar
Stroll-
started doing bad again, everywhere online was asking him to do it, and it was like, no. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
guys, stop.
Yeah.
And that's what affected his mental health.
And
And
again-
he had to come out and talk about that, and people were calling him soft.
I mean,
and that.
he's
And-
always been more open about that than like the
Yes.
other drivers.
And
Yeah.
Seb mentioned that on the talk the other day. He's like, we are humans, and we need to be able to talk about that. And we're not
Yeah.
just these mindless machines that go out and put in a performance and then walk away. We are humans, and we need to be able to talk
Yeah.
about this and respond to things. And we want to be able to continue to perform, but we can't when we come back from our things and look at this. Like, this does affect us, and
Yeah.
we can't just pretend like this doesn't happen, because it's not only affecting us, it's affecting our families, it's affecting people around us, it's affecting the teams. Like,
Yeah.
Red Bull itself had to come out and put out the statement, not Max, not GP. Red Bull as a team put out
Yeah.
that statement towards a child on Mercedes F1 team.
Yeah.
Like,
And
think about the extent of that.
And even to a lesser extent, because this got me thinking about, we had a guest speaker today in F1 class from NASCAR, and he was talking about, like, a driver crashes another driver or something of that extent happens, and the implications also on, like, sponsors and threats to that of, like, fans even going as far as to be like, okay, so Max, like, hits Lewis and whatever, and people are like, never going to drink Red Bull again, or just things. I think in general, we go very extreme. There's a lot of
Yes.
very passionate fans in all sports, not just motorsports, and it does happen in other sports as well. But I think the fact that there's only 20 and soon 22 drivers, it highlights that even more, because when there's hundreds, if not thousands, of players in the NFL, it's different. It's different because there's not as much of a spotlight. One player does this, one player does that, whatever. And it's teams versus teams. You may hate a team, but it's not so much an individual person. We're all human. Like, and these individuals, I think, get a lot more highlights, but also threats and backlash because there's less of them. So
And I think we can go on that whole rant and we can talk about this, Scott, for a whole episode if we wanted to,
Yeah.
about the effects of, like, how social media has kind of opened that door for
Absolutely.
that
it's
impact
quicker.
of it, because
it's quicker and it's more widespread.
It's faster, and it's kind of how people are like, okay, well, you're putting yourself out there, and you've put yourself on a pedestal because you've opened the door, and then you're going to be open to that ridicule. It's like, that's not what
Absolutely.
they've signed up for, and that you're taking it too far, because now you're not putting yourself in that position anymore.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, I'm surprised it hasn't gotten to the level of having, like, major statements. from other drivers as well, of like drivers speaking out more on this than I mean, we were talking about Lando, but then Lando, mental health wise, there aren't that many, but even more so in terms of the threats, like Max said something 21. Since then, haven't heard much.
Other headline
Sorry.
that we forgot to mention, the drivers had a meeting. Aside from Nico Lewis and Alonso about the FIA regs.
Yeah.
That
With
was
the floor
earlier.
thing or what?
The what?
With the floor thing or what?
Oh, the floor thing was crazy.
No, this
But that
was
last week.
about just I think in general they wanted what's their group called?
The
GPDA?
GDPA.
Yeah, I think they all came together again, minus those three because they're the old ones that don't want to deal with it. I saw the picture. They all came together, I guess, to talk about the FIA and kind of how their power and their extent of the penalties they're giving and their, like, just, I don't know. I didn't look too far into it. I saw it come up.
I guess the drivers want more power in this situation. You see,
Yeah. And more
it's kind of like,
consistency. That's the word I was looking for.
yeah, that's been a big thing because it's a unique sport where the referees change every week. I mean, at least there's some now that changes for most sports like soccer and American football. There's going to be a different referee crew each week, but there's like a rotation of the same people. F1, it's very unique. It's very different where like each week there's like a local designated steward from the country. There's one pre-selected by a team on the grid. And then there's like two more that I think they're actually from the FIA of who they are, right? Does that sound about right?
That sounds
Sounds about right to
but
me.
they're also like volunteer.
Yeah, they're not paid
And that's
to
like they're
do that.
It's not their job.
And when you think
Yeah.
about it, that can also highly affect.
I
the
think
extent of-
Giancarlo Fisichella was an active one, or was it
Not
Yano
sure.
Trulli?
I know.
I think Fisichella.
But
Okay.
I know the woman. I want to say her name's Laura, not Lauren. I think it's Laura Villas. Was at the race this weekend.
Oh,
She's-
nice.
I'm pretty
Nice.
sure she's still in contention for president.
I thought she was
No.
out.
So-
Then why is
Rolled
it
out.
still on her like stuff?
I don't know.
But she
When
ran.
Tim
was rolled
Mayer
out.
dropped
She
out,
ran.
I lost all hope in somebody else running for president.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like he's the president of ACUS, which is like the American equivalent to the FIA. They basically implement all the FIA's rules, but to Americans' motorsports.
Yeah.
But American motorsports also don't really follow the FIA's rules or stewarding, so it like makes it a little weird. They just kind of keep communication. And I think he's like the nephew of the founder of McLaren, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, we did talk
Yeah,
about
Tim
this.
Mayer, yeah.
Yes, we did
So
talk about
he
this.
was the guy running for the FIA president, and I thought he would be a great fit. You know, President ACUS, right? Finally, a new face. Finally, representation from
Anyone
the
but him.
Americas,
Anyone but him.
right?
I'm
An
fine.
American.
Hey,
Anyone
I'm
but
still
Muhammad.
team.
Now that we have
Toto
3 American
retire,
races.
Susie Wolf FIA president.
I agree.
Yeah, it
She
would
should
be
be
great
great.
too. I'd
I
love
agree.
that.
She should be.
But
Sorry, Toto, but go be a hab.
anyways,
Go join Alex Albon.
Damn.
it
Well, he already
was
is.
a sprint weekend, but despite 2 times of asking, one of the major things from this weekend was Lewis out in Q1 both times.
P18 both times.
P18 both times.
I don't know what more to say about that. I've said it every week.
You know,
For me,
it's
the,
been a
can't-
tough week for the Chinese winner.
I can't say anything
you can't even
else
say it
about
anymore.
It.
No,
Shall I
it
say one
hurts.
word to summarize this all up? Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I say
Lower
it
your
every
head as
week
you
at
say
this
it.
point. I can't even say anything else.
There's not
For
much to say.
me,
Man,
There
they
isn't.
At this
the
point-
car
It is the
must be made
car.
of pasta.
for me at this
Oh,
point,
and that's why the water was there?
it's the
Yes.
It is the
They were
car,
cooking.
but
boil it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not just the car since Charles can do something with it.
yeah. For
I mean,
me,
Charles didn't have a great
Yeah,
weekend
but
either.
Charles
didn't have
didn't
a
even
great
finish
weekend
top
either.
5. He finished what?
Charles scores
seventh?
points.
But he can get.
eighth.
But he can get into the top
Eighth and
10.
But in the
13th.
race,
Yeah.
That
Nothing
will,
in the
that will
sprint.
be
That's
my
better than
argument.
Lewis.
That will
But
be my
Lewis
argument.
has been just reaming out the car.
To
Any
me-
chance he gets, he's like, yeah. He sounded like Julian Palmer when Julian Palmer was actually
Julian Palmer
driving.
was
Do we
crazy
think
with that.
he's they're not
he was
listening
off
to
the
him?
walls.
Or like
I think
It's not working for him.
for me, at least, it's been clear for a while, not even just a Ferrari, Lewis's quality performance has taken a hit, for sure.
Clearly.
That's not just car, that's happened since Mercedes. But the issue is, with a car that's that bad, frankly, should be a lot better. His poor quali, which is part him, part car, because like you said, Charles is able to get that little bit more, leads to, I mean, realistically, the cars probably had a very, very, very similar pace. But the fact that Charles started higher allowed him to score those points.
Yeah.
Because ultimately,
higher.
strategy wasn't a factor. It's not like we can say Red Bull, or not like we can say Ferrari destroyed the strategy, had a terrible strategy, because that was McLaren this weekend. But
They were undercover.
I will
yeah,
also say, though,
I saw that so many times. I was like,
I will
it's
also,
hilarious.
I will always give props to him though, because in the past couple races, Lewis has been able to gain a few positions every single time in
Yeah.
the opening few laps of the race, and he has been able to hold it. Granted, does that get him into the points? Oftentimes, no, because he starts so fast due to that poor qualifying pace. But again, that's part car. But like you said, he has lost that qualifying pace over the past couple years, both here at Ferrari and in Mercedes. So due to that and due to the car, yeah, Charles has been able to put it in the points because he's starting higher. But Lewis is putting some performance in, but that's just also due to pure luck because the middle of the grid has been taking out half of the middle of the grid at the
Well, the
first
middle of the
turn.
grid's
every
also
time.
rookie.
I think part of it's
That's what I
not
mean.
even just quality performance in general, but mentally, he's done, and he's been done for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
He's so demoralized. He's so broken down. He needs the break. Like, if it were up to him, I don't even know if he would race Abu Dhabi. He'd be like, "Peace out. I'm done. I'll see you next year."
It's like painful
I mean,
for him
when
to
they're
go.
talking
At this point,
about
it's literally
Ferrari,
he talks about him playing full.
they've started bringing up Ollie more than Lewis. They're like, Ollie's putting in the performance to be a Ferrari driver. To
I
replace
honestly
Lewis,
don't think so.
I don't
Is what,
but-
or like
think-
in a Haas,
Haas is
but like
Haas is like in the back of my
or like
mind.
people are like,
Yeah.
or I saw something and they were like, oh, the FIA is already treating Ollie like a Ferrari driver.
Yeah, but
So it's like, but no, people are bringing Ollie back into the question of Ferrari a little bit. Being like, oh, is he
mean-
going to replace Lewis?
Yeah.
Already being like, oh, Lewis is getting replaced.
like
Eventually,
we've
when
kind of talked about.
next year when he retires or something.
I think if nothing happens by the end of next year, I think 27 will be a big year for Ferrari.
knock on wood, man.
Again,
Because even I, as a Red Bull / Max fan, would love to see Ferrari succeed. Everybody's a Ferrari fan.
okay,
I
so
think-
you
I've said
ask a
it.
kid
I
to
think
paint a
they
car,
need
to color a car. They're going to color
Get their
it
head
red.
out of
Yeah.
their ass. Excuse my French, but excuse my Italian. But I think they need to stop messing around and stop messing with that idea of this great duo and just get their act together.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking
Save
of someone
Charles's dreams.
though, speaking of someone though that did get their act together, especially this weekend, Oscar double pole.
Thank God.
Now, would you like to hear the theory I've heard?
Sure.
It's all this. He started going downhill when Robert Irwin was on Dancing with the Stars. Dancing with the Stars
yes,
is over.
it was an Australia thing.
I
was
did
an
see
Australian
this.
thing. Can be
I did
succeeding
see
at a time.
this.
Only one Australian could succeed at the time.
Oh.
And if it, however, only one Australian's gonna win.
Mark Webber's fuming.
Unfortunately,
Mark Webber.
But then you know what was
Webber.
funny? He did bad
does say
because
Mark
it's Robert
Webber.
Irwin's birthday today.
I truly don't understand how he won, but that is
Robert Irwin?
not but that is
Don't get me-
not that is
I
not for
love
this
him.
podcast.
I
watch it.
love him. Alex should have won.
Anyways,
I don't watch that.
Um,
I just saw the thingies.
the performance
sees
I love
the
Whitney.
TikToks.
She
I
sees
do see the
TikTok.
TikToks.
The
We'll get into
performance
that.
leap though for Oscar was incredible, and the fact that he didn't win this race, as much as I loved the fact that Max won it and we're going to Abu Dhabi for the three of them,
So sad.
so sad because
I mean, people were already
he was
doubting him.
worthy.
Halfway through the
very
race,
worthy.
people at the beginning of this, whenever he got pole and everything, and he was like winning stuff, people were like, "Oh my gosh, Oscar's back." Then he started not
He
winning the
was
race,
back.
and everyone, "Oh my gosh!" Even though it was a McLaren issue as
Yeah.
a team, not the drivers, they were like, "Oh, is Oscar actually back?" They're like, "Oh, it doesn't seem like Oscar's capable of doing
The
that."
car
Yeah.
was mixed slow.
And more than just the polls or even just his pace, this weekend I saw the hunger back in Oscar.
The quote that Sydney found for the week, I saw somewhere Oscar said something about like I'm going for it, if not for like the championship or whatever, for like my my like conscience, my like ego, something like that,
Yeah.
like something about it. Like he was like, okay, I'm doing this because like I need
I'm
it.
doing it for me.
Yeah, like
and I'm doing
I need
it
to do this for
by
myself,
myself.
because I need to do it. If not, like I'm not gonna forgive myself.
Yeah.
All I know is Lando did not play video games this week.
So
He's locked in.
he's locked.
No, he gets locked
Every
in
time he
when
does video
plays
games,
the video games.
He does
Oh,
it.
that's
yeah.
only
He does
Max.
really good.
Well, Max clearly was off his
Also
game
bad.
in
Like-
quali because he was out qualified by Yuki Tsunoda for the first time ever. One position, P5, P6,
Still
but
out
still
qualified.
That's all that
still out
matters.
qualified. We've had a lot of firsts for Max recently. First time he was out in Q1 on
What
pure
about
pace
Yuki?
last
Yuki got
weekend.
it first. Let's be happy for Yuki for a moment.
I love you.
Yeah, Yuki
Yuki
actually did
out-qualified
not
Max.
terrible.
And then he gave it right back.
Too bad,
As we all knew he was going
as
to do.
we all knew
As
he
we
would.
did.
But too bad he was.
Which was beautiful, by the way, how that all
it
occurred.
wasn't enough.
And it did make people question, is Yuki actually leaving? Because some people are
That's what I
like,
was gonna say,
is
yeah,
he
so-
going to be a team player
Yeah.
if he knows he doesn't have a seat?
If he's up there,
He's gonna do it both ways.
no. If in Abu Dhabi he's up there and he doesn't help, he's lost his Racing Bulls seat.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, theoretically, when they're
So,
if he gets lapped
he has
while
one.
they're lapping him, he could hold them up somewhat theoretically.
If
to
this
the
was
best of his
IndyCar,
abilities without
yes.
If
getting a
this-
point penalty.
This is not IndyCar.
Or they
though.
tell Yuki, take the penalty.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear Max was like, I want it like shorter, I want it like this, and then I saw like I think it was like Jess, like the online
Yeah.
content creator. She was like, so IndyCar.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It was definitely a qualifying to remember.
I mean, the sprint ended the exact same way the top three qualifying started or
Yeah.
ended, so
Exactly the
same
same.
order.
And
Oh, Fernando.
But Fernando was great in quali and lost so much in both races.
But he got in Q3 for both.
He did make
qualifying.
Q3 in
Is
both. He started
he-
what, fourth
what
in the
is-
sprint?
Yo, I don't know what to think
I
of him
think so.
anymore. Genuinely,
He's a vibe. He did start
So,
fourth in the sprint.
he,
For
like,
me, there's one clear thing about
he's
Fernando.
so happy, and then I'm
Fernando's-
like,
Fernando's
confused.
magnificent in sprint weekends because his experience allows him to be up to the pace quicker.
yes,
And
He's
I-
just a
and
little
I do
chaos.
and then the
think-
car just
yeah.
gives out.
And the car just because realistically, by the time Sunday rolls around, or even the sprint race, there isn't enough pace in that car. That car is slow,
The car is tired.
and that's shown. I mean, it's just slow. Like it is. But when it comes to a sprint weekend where he can go out and show pure pace quicker, it allows him to qualify higher and maybe get some points in the sprint because of that,
I
right?
mean,
So
this also because of how well he did and getting into Q3 in the sprints, it did result in Aston Martin overtaking Haas in the constructors' championship.
yeah. So
Yeah, that was a whole. We had a whole little switcheroo.
They're now
Little switcheroo.
P7.
They
slay.
had a whole little switcheroo down there.
Yeah.
Speaking of switcheroo, it was the first initial moment of the race. Race start, Max and Lando have a little switcheroo. But in Lando's defense,
Beautiful.
which I've been saying a lot recently, give me props.
It's nice.
In Lando's defense, the entire dirty side of the grid, the entire even side of the
Oh, it was
grid,
bad.
lost positions. Every single one of them in the first, at least the first half of the grid for sure, lost positions at the start.
And
So-
he did go for it. Lando did go for
He
it.
did go
they
for it.
did.
Max just had a great launch.
But
He was
also,
in the right place.
if
at the right
Lando
time.
would have tried to make that turn tighter, most likely there was a chance he would have crashed into Max or spun out. And either way, he would have been out if he tried
Yeah.
to go tighter. So at the
That
end
was
of the day,
also. It was a
had to
beautiful
keep it-
launch, beautiful
yeah.
start. Like
It was a beautiful start from Oscar too.
Oh, it was.
He got away so well,
It was
so quickly. He
great.
was already out in the lead by a couple seconds. But then, unfortunately, fortunately for the fans, unfortunately, if you're a McLaren fan, lap 7 rolls around. Nico and Pierre have a crash, leading to a safety car, where everyone but McLaren come in and pit.
And they do the dumbest
Ocon.
thing ever.
And Ocon, but
did
Ocon's
not
irrelevant.
pit, but then he pit like 7
Two
laps
la-
later.
yeah,
or something
it
like
wasn't that-
It was like, okay,
didn't.
Ocon.
For flexibility.
What got me about this was if McLaren had come out and said we made a mistake, and I would have been like, okay, cool. But then both Andrea Stella and
Zach Brown.
said at the time it wasn't a mistake. We intentionally stayed out. There was no thought in splitting the strategy because we legitimately thought this was faster.
Yeah, I mean,
This is where Hannah Schmidt comes in. She goes,
I loved her on the podium.
Box
I went
now. And they're like, she was doing an interview and they said, are you sure? Like she's saying that everybody was like, are you sure? And she goes, now, box now.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it worked.
The F1 commentators, because I listened to the F1 broadcast,
Everybody.
they were like, this is either the most genius idea or the most stupid.
Thing is,
And then, like, Max Futrell, he was hosting a watch party,
Mm-hmm.
and he was literally even like, McLaren, what are you doing? He was like, this is either really genius or really stupid. And then halfway through, he was like, they should have picked one of them. I don't care if it was Lando or
Yes.
Oscar, but they should have picked one of them.
In my opinion, and again, this brings me back, like, in a weird way to Abu Dhabi 2021. Lewis didn't pit, so Max did. And
For
if,
someone
if
who doesn't
Lewis
like
had pitted,
talking about this, you talk about it a lot.
No, but I'm not talking about the incident. I'm talking about specifically just the pit stop. Lewis didn't pit, so Max did. If Max had gone in, Lewis would have. If Lewis had gone in, Max would have stayed out. And I
So-
think in that situation, obviously Hannah knew that they wanted to pit, but ultimately the call, in my opinion, if you're Red Bull, especially with the stakes, was box opposite Oscar. If Oscar goes in, you stay out. If Oscar, and ultimately, the toughest decision to make is that number one lead car. I think Lando should have followed Max in.
Yeah, everyone was like, no, Lando.
Oscar
I think Lando said
was
that
always
might
gonna
have.
stay
He
out,
was like,
in my
should I have
opinion.
followed Max?
I think they should have,
Yeah.
regardless, called one of them in.
One of them
That
tried
was-
to come in.
Regardless, I think it was the stupidest thing they could have done, regardless. But either way, call one in. But also, any other race weekend, it could have worked. It
Yeah.
easily could have worked. But in Qatar, where you have that 25 lap
Maximum.
limit,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you can't go
Which is-
past that.
I get why
And
they
you're
have it,
on
but
lap
it's stupid.
7 of 57, where there's 50 laps left. Duh, 25 times 2, you have to pit again.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes so perfect sense.
Yeah, it was
I don't
perfectly timed.
understand
Even
where the, like, flexibility,
I think
even the fact
quote-unquote,
of them
came from.
waiting again until like lap 50, like you guys, like they
The
could have pit
entire
in like
rest
the
Should have pit
40s.
sooner.
grid.
They should have pit sooner.
Yeah, they should have pit in like the 40s.
I agree. And the other thing with this too was the decision to box Lando at the end, in my opinion, didn't make sense.
No.
They boxed him earlier than they needed to. And when they did, they put him on hards. Did it work in a way? Sure. But at the end of the day, through the practice, the one practice session they did have,
Mediums were working.
the mediums were working, the softs were working. Lando hated the hard compound tire.
Yeah, I mean
That's what I kept going back
wasn't-
to.
I wasn't listening to his onboard, but what I've seen, he didn't ask for the hards.
So
No.
who was it that was
They
like
just
yelling
told
for the
him,
softs
"We're going
and then they
up
switched to
one."
hards? Was
Yeah.
They
that
told him we're going up one, and then they put him on hards.
Yeah.
who was yelling for the softs and then they switched to hards? Was that
Wait,
Oscar?
that
Was
was
that
my
this year?
thing. Did
Oscar
McLaren have softs at the end of the
I
race?
say- I
They
don't-
should have.
They should have,
Because-
Like new
Some-
softs or
somebody
used softs?
New
did it.
softs because
Somebody didn't have soft. I wonder if it was
new
Oscar.
softs because the soft everyone had a new soft because
Did they think it
The
wouldn't
idea-
last 12 laps?
I don't know. That's
Well,
my
it
thing
wasn't even
because
12. It
well,
was
what's
like
his name?
7.
Had
because
a-
for me it didn't make sense. A lot of people think it did, but in my opinion it didn't make sense to box Oscar onto the softs because I think he
Oh,
was
they
going to
put
push
Oscar on
too
the
hard.
softs?
No, they put him on the hards.
Okay.
Yeah, because
But
if they
people
would have
were
stayed
saying
out
they both should have
longer,
been on softs. I think
they would have
Oscar
lost
was
even
on the
more
right one.
time by the time they would have been like within the 5 laps that softs can last.
I'm no strategist. I don't have all the data. But for me, Oscar should have pitted sooner onto the hards. Lando should have pitted either slightly later or exactly when he did, but onto the softs.
I mean, can we talk about that Oscar pit stop though? 1.8 seconds.
Yeah.
They have the three fastest pit stop going into this weekend. So now they have probably the 4 or 5 because they had good stops.
They did.
Really
They
good
had
stops.
good
It did
stops.
save them.
Because
Just the stupidest strategy otherwise.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
saved Oscar.
That's if they hadn't have set that pit stop record like a couple years ago, I want to say last year or something,
Yeah.
or
In the
late
dark.
2023, that would have been the world record again because that is
Yeah.
the current world record set
Yeah.
by McLaren, the 1.8 pit stop.
Yeah. But most importantly of everything, this decision has had many consequences going into this weekend with Lando still leading the championship, but by only 12 points,
All I need is P3.
and Oscar 4 points back, 16 points away from
Insane.
Lando.
Bob can do it.
Firstly, Max overtaking Oscar for me, and it doesn't matter if he wins the championship or not, is insane. The fact that he's 4 points ahead, being 104 points behind Oscar going into, after the summer break.
8 races ago.
That's insane. That is incredible. And I think part of it, you can give a lot of the credit to Max. Max is a great driver. But he said it in the interview, and people have said it. Ultimately, he's still in this fight because of McLaren's failures, and it's still true now.
Yeah.
But, and Christina will be happy about this, I don't think there's there's not a straightforward race in which Lando doesn't win the championship.
No.
It's gonna be.
It's a messy.
Really
It's going to be a messy race.
If this P3.
If this works out any
We've
way
had
that
messy
Lando
races.
doesn't win, this is going to be a messy race. And honestly, if it's going to be the race that everybody thinks it is, it's gonna get a little scrappy.
What I'm saying
Yeah.
is, do not contact me then. I will be unreachable until January. Thank you very much.
My family friend's theory is that if Lando qualifies in the top 3, after the start, regardless of where he's at, he's just gonna fall in. So if he's second and he stays second after the start, he's just gonna stay there. He's not gonna attack first. He's got to keep his gap to
there's no
third.
need to.
But he's just gonna chill. He's got to chill.
There's no need
He's just
to.
gonna sit.
All Bob needs
He doesn't
is
need a win.
P3.
He's just got to sit.
Can we talk about somebody else who could have another really good weekend going into this?
Go
Who?
for it.
The Williams.
The Williams.
Oh, Williams did do good.
Because
Williams
Carlos,
podium.
although
Crazy.
Piastri looked really sad coming off of this podium, Carlos looked ecstatic into this camera. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
I mean, Williams, for
Again?
me,
He
is
thinks
iffy
he's
because-
Oh my
driving
God.
the Ferrari.
God.
Not this Ferrari.
He's had more podiums than the Ferrari, has he not?
Yeah.
More than Chinese sprint winner
more,
Lewis Hamilton.
Has Lewis had a podium this year?
Nope.
No.
No.
Okay, is this going to be his first year in how long or ever that he has
Unless
had a podium?
Abu Dhabi.
Second year.
Okay.
Did he have a
still
podium
had-
last year? He had a
Yes.
podium last year, but he didn't have a win.
It
This
was
will be his
in
second-
England, right?
It'll be his second
Yeah.
year in a row that he
Right.
won't get a win.
UK.
Did he
And-
not win last year?
No, Lewis
He
won last year.
He
didn't.
won Silverstone.
He won last year. Last
Oh,
year was
yeah,
the year
he
that
won
everybody
the-
won. Last year was the
Yes.
year that like everybody won.
Did
No,
he
it
not
was his
win?
second, not in a row. Second
So he
year.
does
he
not
doesn't
have
get second year
a
in his
Ferrari
career
podium.
because he didn't get one in 23. He got one last year.
That's
He didn't get one this year.
absolutely
So
He got 2
insane.
wins.
He won twice last year.
I'm saying
Yeah.
not in a row, but second year
Oh.
he doesn't. In his whole career, his second year that he hasn't
His
gotten a
last
win.
podium was Las Vegas last year.
Yeah.
Over a year ago.
That's tough.
Poor
That
Carlos.
hurts.
Oh,
But
So
on
bad.
Carlos's side, like you said, Carlos thinks he's driving a
Bad.
Ferrari, but that Williams might be faster than a
My
Ferrari.
issue with
That was pure
Williams
pace.
is
Dang.
because they are on a roller
That's sad.
coaster.
And
They do good
also-
one weekend, bad the next.
But then
Good the next
also-
one, bad
I feel
the
bad
next.
for Alex.
Or
I
it's
was
like
gonna
one
say,
does good, the other one
Alex, on the
does
other
bad.
hand,
I
I want to know
think-
what's happening with him.
Last weekend he had no radio. Like, what are they
what's
doing?
going on with his car? Just aside from Alex, what's going on with his car?
Yeah.
I think they're confused.
so bad.
Yeah, but really importantly also for Williams, they secure
Yeah,
fifth
so
in the
bad.
constructors. That's a lot of money.
Yes,
It's a lot of wind tunnel that they get.
I mean,
and
Ferrari's in third,
hopefully
and
it's
they're not
upwards
moving.
and onwards for
Or
Williams.
fourth.
I'd be
Sorry.
more than happy to switch
Hashtag
like
up the Willies.
If you told me
Yeah.
Williams is going to be right behind Ferrari in the constructors.
Boo.
Okay,
it's insane.
I remember looking at the beginning of the season. I think we were on a Sports Night episode, the three of us.
Mhm.
And we were sitting there. It was like the second race of the season. And we showed us the thing. And we were like, huh. If you told me, like, steak would be
Just
in,
had
like...
somebody almost walk in.
I heard that.
Right as I was crashing out about Ferrari.
It's okay, Jason. Next
it
year's your
was
year.
like, if you told me steak would be in third and Ferrari would be in seventh in the constructors,
I mean,
like,
Nico
I would
Hulkenberg
not believe
podium.
you. And we're like, we need like a third way into the season to determine what was going to be going on. And we're sitting here and we're like, Williams in fifth, and they have more podiums than Lewis
No,
Hamilton.
it's unreal. It's
Williams.
unreal. It's truly
Poor
I
Claire.
have
astonishing.
more Williams hats than I do like any other merch, so maybe it's a sign.
It's a
You know
sign.
what? Poor
I-
Claire Williams.
yeah, but
Damn.
I'm also very, and like you said, Christina, there's a lot of ups and downs. But when there are those ups, their podiums have been on pure pace.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing. Obviously, the
strategy.
McLarens
It's a
messed
performance,
up,
Yeah.
but they were still second and fourth. It's not like they dropped off the pace, man. They didn't DNF.
No.
They were still there, and even with the mess up in strategy, the McLarens were still quick. They were still coming back, and Carlos drove flawlessly.
He kept his position too.
I
It's
loved
not like
his
he,
radio
gained it
messages
from that.
at the end where he's like, I think we need to push here. Like, let's go.
He was giving them the strategy again.
And then they James Vowell said they had to tell him to back off, which is why he kind of dropped back into Kimmy and Lando at
Yeah,
like, those
when
last
that
laps
happened,
there. 'cause
everyone was
the
like,
tires.
Carlos, Lando's good friend. Carlos, you want to help us out, Carlos?
No
Carlos
way.
didn't help us out. But everyone in the comments was like, Carlos,
Yeah.
do your thing.
But
Great.
we're going into Abu Dhabi. I need your Abu Dhabi Grand Prix predictions. And more importantly, pick your winner
I picked
of the
Bob.
championship.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
It's Bob.
I want to say Max is inevitable. He'd be funny, even though it'd be his 5th in a row. It'd be really funny.
I support Bob.
Max win is inevitable. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, for the
No, I'm
for
telling.
which one?
Give me your Abu Dhabi prediction, Jason,
All right.
and then
So
tell me
I'll
who's winning
go.
the
I'll
championship.
go. Man, I really want to see Max like come back on the championship. That'd be really funny.
Okay, well, that's
But
not
I'll
Max.
go Max win the race. Norris is gonna finish 2nd, and it's gonna be like something weird, like Antonelli in 3rd.
Oh, okay. And therefore Norris is your champion.
Yeah, therefore Norris is.
All right.
Yeah.
Christina.
Okay, so I'm debating who I want to win the race. It's between Oscar and Max.
Okay.
We'll go with Oscar because why not? Max or Kimmy for P2,
Okay.
and Bob for P3,
Okay. Lando 3rd. Got it.
and then Bob will win.
Okay. Sydney.
Don't know. I want to say. I'm gonna say Max 2nd. I feel like Oscar 1st, Max 2nd, Lando 3rd.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm just gonna
Interesting.
throw it.
So
Based on
therefore
that-
Lando is
And
your
then-
champion.
As much as I want Max to win, it's gonna
So-
be Lando.
He has 4. He's good.
I have thus far every race weekend that we have talked about. Max is in this fight. I have yet to predict him as the winner.
Yep.
He has continued to win, so I refuse
Yes.
to say he's going to win the race. Even if I hope it, I won't put him there. I think it's going to be Lando. Lando, George, Max.
I keep saying George and he doesn't do anything for once.
Why
so
put
maybe
Kimmy
that's a
in there?
sign,
Which also makes Lando the champion.
which means that George is gonna get on this podium because I didn't say it.
All I'm saying is there is a unanimous vote here.
It's not a vote. It is a prediction. My
it's
vote
unanimous.
is still always
And
for
we're
Max.
always
Unanimous.
wrong. And we're always wrong.
We've never
so,
had a correct podium ever
So does that mean
in Lights Out latest history.
that we're all
So,
gonna be wrong on the champion then?
Yes.
No.
We could.
No.
We could.
It's gonna be Oscar
But
Piastri.
we're going to have to wait and see and find out
Again,
next
then
weekend.
Don't talk to me until January or 2027.
Get Parker in
Oh
here.
my goodness.
Gladly.
Get Parker in
Okay.
here. Thank
Works
you guys.
for me.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week after our champion is crowned. Bye, guys. Peace.